Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Brennan again, obviously in the car, which means I'm outside the gym, just getting ready to go. And if you saw my last video, I got a lot of Quest bars, so I'm having a Quest bar pre-workout instead of a Pop-Tart. And it's funny because even though some might argue that the macros on this is a lot better than a Pop-Tart, there's still people that get butthurt about these Quest bars saying, oh, they're overpriced, oh, you know, their labels are wrong, they're getting sued. Shit ain't that serious. You guys need to relax. Also got my Tier 1 pre-workout, my Forged Iron shirt, my JTS strength hat. Got a lot of shit going on today, but it's gonna be a bench day. So in the last workout video you saw, it was lower body, it was deadlifts, and I told you that because I've been having a hard time recovering, we really cut back on the volume. Today, upper body, I haven't had an issue with. We've been doing 2 bench days a week and it's been going great. So it's gonna be a full workout day today. It's Saturday, it's a beautiful day here in Rhode Island. So we're gonna get to it and we'll talk to you soon. All right, so jumping into the working sets here, the first one called for 260 pounds for just 1 set of 2 reps. And of course it called for competition, which means that there should be a pause. See what I did there? Pretty funny, yeah, I know. So anyways, then we moved on to the next working sets of 285 for 3 to 4 sets of 5 reps each. Now it's interesting on chest days because on these days, Dan actually gives you a range. Usually it's 3 to 4 or 4 to 5. So depending on how you feel, you can go less or more total volume. And I always typically try to go for the higher end when it comes to bench and chest exercises, only because it is, in my opinion, my weakest lift and something I've really been trying to work on. So here you're seeing just a couple different angles here. You guys probably know I don't have a very narrow grip, which means you're not going to see a lot of elbow tucking on here, although there is some slight elbow tucking for my own long, lanky arm purposes. And again, you'll see a couple different angles here, and this is just where I feel most powerful. Now, I could go narrower and involve more triceps and tuck more, but I don't feel like I get as much drive. Same thing, I can go pretty wide, which you'll actually see later on in these sets. And while I feel strong, it's not as good as right here. So this is about my middle finger on the ring of this bar, and it feels pretty strong here, and I've been making some great progress since really imploring this style of benching and this tempo, meaning actually working pauses in. Because I know a lot of people ask me, you know, what should I do for increasing my bench press? Honestly, working with pauses has tremendously helped me. So much so, in fact, that you're seeing here the 4th set. So I was able to get all 4 sets. I felt good after the 3rd, so decided to go for a 4th. You're seeing a little bit different of an angle here, but everything felt really smooth today, which I was really happy about. So from here we moved on to the next exercise, which was just speed bench of 245, called for 5 sets of 5, so a lot of volume here. Again, just showing you the first set so you get a little bit of angle to see exactly how I go and how my forearms are perpendicular to the floor. These felt really smooth and moved really fast, so it's always nice going from a pause to speed work because everything feels a lot lighter. You then see the first set of 3 of wide grip pause of 205, and this was so wide, in fact, that I had to remove the safety bars after this just because my forearms were grinding against those poles. And I don't know about you, but I'm not really a big fan of grinding against any pole, especially on film. So by this point, we're up to 13 total sets. It then called for 4 sets of incline dumbbell bench press. Just really choose whatever weight you want. I decided to go with 90, so 4 sets of 12. I kept the weight static. You're seeing the first set here, and although these look very easy by the 4th set, they do become very hard. Not to mention, again, I've done a ton of volume at this point. However, I was fairly happy with the speed I was able to do these with. Last exercise of the day is everyone's favorite, so finishing it off strong with these inclined chest supported dumbbell rows. Again, called for 4 sets of 12, so just showing you the first set here using 85 pounds, which is 5 pounds heavier than the last week. Again, this first set is fairly easy, but as it goes on towards the 4th set, it becomes a lot more difficult. And for this, because so many people ask, I give you a little bit of bench tap here, a little bump. After that, I decided to go ahead and stop at this place called Smoothy Booty Cafe. It's right near my gym, and I was really hungry because all I really had up to that point was a Quest bar. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the inside of it really quick. It's kind of a cool little place. It's very crunchy. That's a good word I can use to describe it. You see the Bob Marley stuff all over. They sell a lot of clothes and stuff. It smells of very heavy incense and probably patchouli oil, if you know what I'm saying. Also wanted to show you a quick close-up of the menu. They have some pretty interesting things. I ended up getting a poop deck, which you can see here, but if you want, you can pause and see more. All right, so I'm just leaving Smoothie Booty, as you guys saw. It's a pretty interesting place. It's very hippie-ish, so Chris Jones probably would not want to go there if you came to visit me in Rhode Island, but it might make you change your mind when I tell you what I got, which is this little guy, which is called a poop deck. And what it is, it's chocolate, peanut butter, banana. Had them put a scoop of whey protein in here as well, and it's rated good as fuck. So Chris, maybe you will want to come to this hippie motherfucker place if you come down. But for anyone else in the Rhode Island area, this is in Wakefield, right off of Main Street. It's near my gym. So if you guys come down, I'll either take you out to breakfast or maybe we'll go for some smoothie booties. And by me take you out, I mean I will go there and I'll let you pay for yourself, because let's face it, I'm a gentleman, but we're not on that level just yet. Unless I really like you, in that which case you better put out. But that's all it is. That's what I got. I'm gonna drink this and we'll talk to you soon. So I wanted to go ahead and stop by and see the future wifey, and I found her mowing the lawn on this sweet riding lawnmower. She actually lives about a mile down the road from where I live. She lives with her mom, and she doesn't have to pay rent, so that's a pretty good deal. Not to mention, I got a pretty good deal where I live currently, so that's why we don't live together just yet. But that will be changing very soon, obviously, and she finally noticed me filming her and decided to kind of hide. You can see they got a nice big yard to mow, so it's going to take a while. I also wanted to show you my car really quick, because a lot of people tell me I should tint the windows. They are tinted. But one of the things you have to realize also, it's actually illegal to have any kind of tint on your car in Rhode Island. So I try to get by with this, which is just like 30 or 35. And then just showing you the neighborhood she lives in again. I said she has a pretty sweet deal. Look at some of these houses. Definitely first world problems. Right across the street, there's this weird house, which is kind of turned to the street, and they have the pool out facing that way, which I don't get. But that's what you got when you're living in South County, Rhode Island, I guess. Alright, so we're here in my kitchen. I'm just going to show you a quick, easy meal that I make pretty much every single day. Now, normally, I actually make this for breakfast, but it's a little bit later in the afternoon. It's 1:30 on a Saturday. I got my non-stick cooking spray here, my handy dandy pan, just a quick spray on there. And if you really want to track the macros on this, you're quite silly, because if you look, one serving size is a 1/4 of a second of a spray, which none of us count. However, I'm not really too worried about this. I guess that's one of those powerlifting problems that you don't really have to deal with. So all I do is get a little pan, put it on medium to high heat. We're gonna go ahead and let this heat up just a little bit. I also probably need a spatula. Abracadabra, look what I found right here. And it's pretty simple in terms of ingredients. All I have here is I have 2 slices of this breakfast ham you guys saw the other day. In my grocery store pickups, I have these flour tortillas, which I eat every single day, at least one, usually 2 or 3. These are really cheap. You get a pack of 8 for like $2, and I really like the macros on it, not to mention you can make wraps with pretty much everything. So these come in handy pretty often. I have some spinach here as well. This is organic baby spinach, so it's better if you're a hippie, I suppose. Same cost as non-organic. But last thing I have is just some large eggs, and it's the end of the week. So again, typically when I go grocery shopping, which is once a week, I try to make sure that I get enough to last me through, and that's usually what it does. For the most part, I just buy enough to get me through the week. That way I can go each week and nothing really goes bad, so to say. So just go ahead and we're just gonna put these 3 eggs in here, whole, just like this. Now, if you really want, you can go ahead and scramble them up before, but I like to just do it in the pan. It makes no difference at all to me, in my opinion. So again, just 3 whole eggs. Now, of course, this meal probably isn't going to be Scooby approved, and this egg just broke. So if you saw that, that is gross. We're not gonna use that. So in this case, we're gonna change the recipe to just 2 eggs. So we got that going. The next thing I like to do is just go ahead and add in this spinach. And I'm probably gonna have to wash my hands in this case, only because I have egg all over them, which is pretty gross. Now, if you're into salmonella, that might be something that you don't really care about washing your hands. But my hands are washed. We're just gonna take a handful of this spinach. I don't really measure it, but I'm assuming this is probably around a cup. There's not a ton of calories in spinach as is, so there's no real point, in my opinion, to really count this. You can if you want, but if you look at the serving size, 2 cups of spinach has 20 calories, so it doesn't have a huge impact on what you do. You can also make the decision if you want to cut up this ham, or you can cook it whole, you can throw it in there, whatever you want to do. Again, it's really up to you, which is nice about a lot of these recipes that I like to do, and some might argue that this isn't really even a recipe. You just take what you like and mix it all together and you put it on a plate. So it's almost like Mexican food in a way. If you look at Mexican food, no matter what you order, what is it? You have a protein, usually chicken or beef, sometimes pork. You have rice, you have cheese, you have lettuce, you have tomato, and they just cook it different ways. But honestly, it's the same kind of food in that sense. And it's really true for breakfast stuff. Like you could make an omelet with this if you really wanted to. You could make more of a scramble, which I'm kind of going to do here, but I'm going to make it into a wrap. You could get a bagel or some other kind of bread, English muffin, and make this into a sandwich. It's all pretty much the same ingredients, just different ways to cook it. You could change the seasoning, you could change, whatever kind of condiment you want to put on at the end. And it really makes eating the same food a lot more bearable because you're able to get a little bit different flavor out of it, but still get, like I said, the good things in there. So we're gonna go ahead and cook this. While this is cooking, let's get a little kind of up close in your face action. You're gonna get the titties all in your face. And what I'm doing right here is actually opening up the refrigerator and looking at things that I want. And I think in this case, I'm probably going to go with the Frank's Red Hot. If we really want, we have some sriracha sauce. There's also some other things in here. You could go Sweet Baby Ray's. You could go ketchup. Although this is not low-fat ketchup, so it's not Jeff Side approved. It's not on the shredding pyramid. However, what is on the shredding pyramid, some good old sweet potatoes. So he would approve of that. But I'm just gonna go with the Frank's Red Hot. This is something that I like. It's easy. So that's what we'll do as this continues to cook. What I'm actually gonna do today is I'm gonna take this ham that you saw, which is the end of it, which means I have to buy more. Take this ham, I'm just gonna put it on this tortilla, and I'm gonna microwave this for about 15 seconds. The reason I'm gonna microwave it for 15 seconds is, first of all, it's gonna give a little bit of warmth to that ham, but also the tortilla itself, it makes it a lot more easier to fold and actually stay together. So if you guys have ever had the trouble, which I know I have from the numerous cooking videos I've done, putting together a wrap, oftentimes it's ruined because you try to wrap it on camera and you end up ripping the shit out of it. Heating it up for just a little bit is a good way around that because it makes it very pliable, which means it's easier to fold and you can make a wrap quite easily. So this egg and this spinach is pretty much done. This is a really quick, easy way to cook. It doesn't take hardly any time, which is one of the reasons I like to have it each morning for breakfast. So we have this, we have this. We're gonna go ahead and again, just take this out, put it on our plate, and I'll wash that. Gonna do that. Just to be overly cleanly for you guys, I'm gonna wash my hands one more time. Because I know if I don't, I'll get hated on, which is okay. Just think of those extra germs and bacteria as a way to strengthen your immune system. Then we're just gonna take this, fold it, wrap it, which isn't going to be overly fancy. Bring this over here. And let's see what we got. If I can do this. And there you go. So it's just a plain, simple wrap. Again, it's nothing overly exciting, but it's quick and it's easy and it has decent macros, and it's just something I like to do for breakfast on most occasions. Or like today, I went to Saturday and I need to eat this because I'm planning on going grocery shopping and buying all more food again.